Greetings. We bring you a word of encouragement from Grace Evangelistic Ministries, your ministry. We thank God for what He does for and through us, through this ministry and through you. I want us to focus on one thing, God's faithfulness. And that's what got many people, many servants of God through in time of difficulties, in trying times. As I study the Bible, as I look at the people of the old, and one thing they keep coming back to is the faithfulness of God. And just to think about that, no matter what happens, that God is faithful. He cannot fail. He cannot flip. He cannot change. He cannot go back on his word. He cannot go back on his promises that he has made to us. His faithfulness is what got Jeremiah through. Jeremiah, they suffered tremendously. He himself, he suffered as a prophet of God, as a servant of God. God equipped him. You would think that God's servants need not to suffer. Think again. They are on the front line. They receive more heat than those who are behind them. And Jeremiah, he saw what his own people were going through. At a point, it appeared as if they would not make it. But he reflected on how good God has been to them. He reflected on God's faithfulness to them. He reflected on their own failures. Boy, did they ever fail? Time and again, they were just a bundle of failures. You would think, it's funny when you look at these people, the Israelites. You would think that after they have seen God's work in their lives in Egypt, that will set them free. But it didn't. You would think that after they have seen the magnificent display of God's power in drying the Red Sea, that they will be set for life. No. And you would think that after seeing God providing food in the wilderness, you would think that after seeing God providing water where you never thought water could come from, a rock, which Paul later tells us that is Jesus following them. It doesn't mean that Jesus was concrete rock. It was metaphorically, it was Jesus following them. You would think that over and over and over, he gave them victory upon victory upon victory. You would think that they would be settled for life. No, they didn't. And they still haven't. But when Jeremiah looked at all this, humanly speaking, Jeremiah could write them off and say, I think you have crossed the line, you are finished. But when he looked back, he saw how faithful God has been to them. Being inspired by the Holy Spirit, he penned down Lamentations chapter 3, verse 21 through 23. He said, this I recall to mind. In other words, there was something that came to his mind. What came to his mind? The faithfulness of God. This I recall to mind, therefore I have hope. It was God's faithfulness that gave him hope. Therefore I have hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that were not consumed. He also think of the mercies of God. It's of his mercies that we are not consumed. For his compassions do not fail. God is so compassionate. He knows what we are going through. You know what we are going through? His compassion glows in darkness. This I recall to mind. Therefore, I have hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that were not consumed. You have failed. You will think that your failure will be the end of the rope, the end of the journey. No. Jeremiah said it's on the mercies plus compassion. That's what is keeping you alive. It is of his mercies that were not consumed. Not only that. His mercies are renewed. His grace are renewed every day. And then he added, he stamped it, great is thy faithfulness. I don't know what you're going through as a believer. Hang on this one thing, the faithfulness of God. As he was faithful to the people of the old, he will be faithful to you. He cannot let you down. He will see you through and he will bring you to the complete line. As Paul said, I am persuaded, I am convinced that he who has begun a good work in you will bring it to completion. Until next time, keep on praying, keep trusting him, for he will not fail you. May God richly bless you, my beloved brother and sister.